Welcome to day 6 of the 10 days to getting 4 to 5 figure clients without the overwhelm. Even if you don't have an offer, you don't have a list yet, you don't have prospect. Actually, by day 6, you should have all that stuff already because we covered all of it. Today, we are talking about the 4 easy steps. No, the 4 questions that you should be asking your prospect to make them want to work with you. So you're not selling, you're closing. They are like excited to get into your program with you. And with us to walk us through the entire process is John Logor. Hey, John.
Hey, everybody. It is kind of important that you do have a business and you do have an offer and you do have an audience and you do have a market to go after. Otherwise, it would be very challenging not to have a business. But however, today is a really simple one, because if you take what I'm sharing with you today and think about the process, this little simple process, you can walk yourself into a client opportunity even if you have incidental conversations. One of our consulting champions did this 2 weeks ago, where they asked these 4-step questions and walked themselves into a $25,000 website deal.
That's amazing.
And I've had several people have applied this strategy and generate, tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of business by applying this really basic philosophy, because it kind of opens up a person to the idea of working with you. That's what you want. You want somebody to go, I like the idea of that. Yeah, let's work together to solve, or let's work together to get that result or solve that problem. And so the sequence goes what, why, what, how. So let's go into the first what. Oftentimes in conversation, you want to sit there and say, look, at the end of the day, what's really important? What's the objective? What if you were looking, one of the questions I often ask people, say, look, if you're looking at the next 12 months, ideally, your ideal scenario in your head, what do you want to see as the growth trajectory or the percentage trajectory of your business? What would you like that to be? So there's the what question. And some people say, we'd really love to double our business. We'd really love to double our business. So in that section of him doubling business, I want to clarify, so what does that look like for you? What does double mean? What percentage of what revenue or what perspective approximately revenue does that represent to double your business? And they might say, well, it's $1 million. So essentially you're doing $1 million now, you want to be doing $2 million in the next 12 months. And my question is, how long did it take to get to the first million? And they might say, well, it took me 3-4 years to get there. I said, so what strategy or plan in place right now do you have to get you to that $1 million, that doubling of your sales? Because ultimately, does that mean that you have to double down on what you did this year to make $1 million, to make $2 million? Or, what's the actual strategy you have in mind? They go, well, I kind of don't have a strategy. And so, so then the next question is the why. So the what, this is my objective, this is what I want to do. This is what we believe we should be doing. And so this is the outcome ultimately that we're looking for. So that's the first what question. What is it? If you're looking at business, what do you want as a result? Growth-wise, percentage growth-wise, what does that actually look like, right? Now, if I was to reconstruct that for people, sometimes I might sit and say, so that's $1 million over and above what you're doing right now. So roughly $84,000 a monthly revenue. How many clients, just roughly, does $84,000 represent? And they might say, well, average client spends $8,000, so it's roughly 10 clients. So we're looking to add another 2.5 clients per month to be able to hit over and above what you're doing right now to hit that $1 million revenue. And when you break it down like that, you go, wow, 2.5, that doesn't seem like a lot at all. Like that's like 2 sales a week over and above what we do, right? So there's a level of possibility that we put in their head in this what question. So the second question that we ask is, so why is it really important and a must for you to have that outcome? Why is it super important? Why is this a must for you? Because this year you've hit $1 million revenue. Next year you want to 2x million revenue. Why the $2 million? What are you going to do with the extra $1 million worth of revenue? And so they might sit there and say, well, we want to expand. We want to open up another location. We want to hire more people. We want to develop our products or services or bring a line extension in. I want to actually take some time out from my business. I want to, reward myself and hit a goal that I've always wanted to hit. Maybe build another house or buy a little holiday cottage or take my family away on an international holiday. So why is this a must, right? Why is this a must? So in that why, say, well, if you don't hit that extra revenue, how are you going to feel? If you don't hit that outcome, if that's a must for you, and it's a must for you to do that now, over and above anything else that you're doing, then knowing that it's only 2 extra sales per week, 8 extra sales per month, and knowing that, how are you going to feel having this conversation with yourself, looking back, if you don't achieve this very thing that you say that you must achieve? How's that conversation going to go for you, right? And they're going to go, well, if I don't achieve it, it's going to suck, right? If I don't achieve it, it means we haven't had the focus, the clarity. We've allowed other external forces or internal issues to not allow us to achieve those outcomes, and ultimately, I'd be pretty angry. I'd be pretty upset about it, right? So if you hit the outcome, how are you going to feel, right? Well, it's going to feel pretty awesome. If we hit the outcome, we're going to expand, product develop, take a vacation, do all those sorts of things, right? So now we know the what, right? What is the thing? What's the objective? What's the outcome? And now we know the why. Why is this really important? And we've created an emotional anchor towards the why. Like we said, so look, at the end of the day, you haven't done this, you want to do this, but why is it a must? Why is this? Because if it's a must, it's something you're going to go after. If it's not a must, it's something that you're kind of thinking about, you don't really care, and ultimately that's just not going to happen as an outcome. So you have a choice here. As a must, why is this really important? That why question, right? And then if you don't achieve it, knowing that it's really important, how's it going to make you feel? Well, it's going to suck, right? So actually achieving that outcome, right? What's that going to feel like to you? How's that going to feel to you? Well, it's going to be awesome. We're going to be growing. We're going to be adding more value. We're going to actually take some time. We're going to be reinvesting. We're going to do all those sorts of things. The very things that I aspire to, I'm going to do. Great. So we now have the what and we have the why. Now we've got to look at the what. The third question is the what. So if we know that that's the objective and that's the outcome, we know that why this is really important is a must to you. So ultimately right now, knowing that you're not there and we've got a gap here, what is holding you back from implementing that focus in your business? What are some of the things you believe will stop you from achieving those outcomes or that outcome for your business? What are the bottlenecks in what you're doing? Well, the bottlenecks was maybe we need to hire some team. We've got to spend some more money on marketing. We perhaps need to develop our systems and processes a little bit better. We might have to tighten up, we need to focus on how we sell. We obviously want to improve our sales. So, we've got some conversion issues. These are all the things that are stopping us. And one of the things I will say to you, those of you who are listening to this training or watching this right now on the live stream, or you're going to be watching the recording, one of the things I'll say to you, you want to write all these things down, because essentially after these 3 first sections of questions, you're going to go back and feed that back to the person to make sure that they're solid in their mind that this is why, this is what they want, this is why it's important, and ultimately this is what's holding them back. And so, because that last question is the critical one. The last question in that how question is the solution, right? So, and the way you ask this question, this last question, so we've got the resolve, we've got the objective, we've got the resolve, why this is really important. Then we go, what's holding us up in this process? Like, what's holding you back, right? And then we're going to go, you know what? If we could eliminate, if we could improve the conversion, if we could generate those extra sales, increase the number of people inquiring, if we could get sales from existing clients and develop automation that helps you convert better, if we could do those sorts of things, we could devise a plan. And that plan is a realistic focus on how we can achieve those extra 2 sales per week, 8 sales per month, extra $1 million worth of revenue in a year, right? If we could work on that as a simple plan, then is it okay if I show you how, H-O-W, how we can work together to achieve that outcome? So remember, right now, this is the objective. You've got $1 million worth of revenue. It's going to take you roughly 2 extra sales, 2.5 sales over and above what you're doing every week, 8 to 10 sales a month, 80 sales over the course of the 12-month period, or 94 sales over the course of the 12-month period, to generate that extra $1 million worth of revenue. The reason why this is really important to you is because you want to grow, scale, aspire, take a vacation, buy a car, buy a house, expand on your product development, open up a new location, the reasons why this is a must now. And the things that are holding you back from achieving that outcome are, conversion issues, not enough leads or having enough qualified leads coming to the business, need to look at some processes and systems, need to look at those things. These are the things that you've told me that are a thing. And in this question, you say, look, is there anything else, do you think, that's going to hold you back from hitting that goal or that objective that you say that is a must for you? No, nothing else? Great. So let me ask you, if we were sit down together and devise a plan, if I came back to you with a plan that showed you how we can easily generate that outcome, generate those extra 2 sales over and above what you're already doing now, get you to, having the revenue, the resources to be able to invest, to grow, to scale, to aspire, is it okay in that plan, is it okay if I show you how we can work together to get you, to bridge the gap from where you are now to hit that outcome? Is it okay if I show you how to do that? It's very difficult for somebody to say no to the very thing that they need to be able to hit their objective, the thing that's important to them, the resolve as to why this is important, why this is a must. And then ultimately looking at ways of eliminating or minimizing the impact of the bottlenecks or the problems. And then to turn and say, if we were to develop a plan, if I was to develop a plan with you in collaboration to hit that objective, that goal, right? Is it okay if I show you how we can work together to hit that outcome? And in that moment, you've got a yes. There's not a single person on the planet who tells you exactly what they want. It tells you exactly why it's important and why it's a must. It tells you what's holding them back from hitting that outcome. To say that if we can work together to eliminate or minimize the impact of those things that stop you and work on that plan, and if I can show you how we can work together to actually hit that objective and hit that outcome.
So really what we need to do right now, we need to practice this, right? We just need to practice having conversations like that, because that's a everyday conversation when you start with someone like, hey, what do you do? I do it, right? So then that first what is just a immediate conversation with people.
Look, here's the great way to open up the conversation, incidentally, with anybody that you speak to who'd be in business. Say, hey, I talk to business people all the time, and I talk to, and everybody's aspiring to grow and add value and build their business, because naturally, you're here to leverage your opportunity in business. But if I was to ask you, if you were saying, look, reaching out the next 6 to 12 months, what would be the ideal scenario from a growth point of view or a percentage for growth in your business that you'd actually want to go for? And they'll go, we want a 50% increase in business, or we want to double our business, right?
Yep.
Oh, okay, interesting. So what does that roughly look like for you? Revenue-wise, what does that look like? Oh, it's about $1 million, about $500,000. So you're trying to go from this to this, yeah? Yeah. If you've got a plan, strategy in place that's actually going to get you there, that's going to focus, you've got KPIs, you've got people involved, you've got a structure, a way to measure, monitor the outcome to actually hit that goal? No, right? So tell me, why is it a must? Why is it really, really important for you to hit that like in the next 12 months? I'm like, well, we want to expand, we want to build product, we want to, add resources to our own life, we want to send our kids to a private school, we want to, so why, so that's anything else as to why this is a real must for you? Like a must, this has to happen. So what happens if it doesn't happen? Like, this is a must for you. What are you going to feel like? Think about the conversation you're going to have yourself in a year's time. If you weren't going to achieve that outcome, what would you say to yourself? We lost focus. I'd feel pretty shitty. I'd be sitting going, damn, we wasted a year. Great, right? But alternatively, if it's a must and you hit that outcome, what would the conversation be like then? And they go, well, I'd be super happy, excited. My family would be excited because, they're going to benefit from that as well. And, our team, and we're going to grow. And, I'm really going to head, towards the trajectory of the things that I said that I wanted to do with this business. Yep. Right? Great. So what's holding you back from bridging the gap right now? What do you believe is going to hold you back from hitting that outcome? Right? I think, not enough, we need to get better leads. We need to perhaps even hire salespeople. We need to, probably improve some of our systems, our delivery, maybe some of our customer service, and so all I'm doing, so you're telling me that this is what you want, this is why it's important, and here's what's going to hold you back, delivery, conversion. So if we were able to work on a plan to maybe minimize the impact of poor conversion, like increase or get better conversion rates, get actually qualified appointments over and above what you're doing right now to hit that outcome, perhaps to set a plan in place for you to address some of those systems and processes. If we were to put a plan together, collaborate on a plan together, and we could see how you can actually achieve that outcome, is it okay if I show you how we can work together so you make sure that you hit that must?
And you know what? Let's make that concrete for people. Guys, where do you want to be in 6 months, in 12 months from now? Where do you want to be? Put that in the comments. Let us know where you want to be, because maybe we can help you get there. Jeff Miller says on Facebook, he says, John Logar, my mentor, pay this dude money.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. Jeff is probably one of the most outstanding marketers based out of Florida. He's got an incredible community, super nice guy, and amazing all-rounder. He's a fantastic coach. He was one of my favorite people who really went for it, and he's doing some really amazing things. So, Jeff, I really appreciate the kind words, mate.
Yeah, and so there's a question from Brandon, who says, my biggest challenge is knowing what to say. I wish I had a script for each point in the interaction. I can set up calls with cold email, but once I get them on the phone, it feels more like an interview. I've already spoken to a bunch of local contractors and even a few presidents of associations. The conversation feels more like I'm a reporter. I don't know how to transition to the next step and get them interested in what I have. It's like I'm stuck in the friend zone listening to their problems.
So, Brandon, we've kind of given you the next step. We've kind of said, okay, well, what is it? Why is it important? What's holding you back? And then if we were to work together on a plan to hit that outcome or that resolve, then is it okay if I show you how we can put that into place? So what we're trying to do in the conversation is take the next logical step. And if you look at all the scripting, we've done all the scripting for you. If you watch all the training in the last 4 or 5 trainings, we've literally put all the scripting together for you. Literally, go and jump on YouTube or go and jump on LinkedIn or wherever you're picking this up. And you can literally just go through. I mean, literally, I've walked you through step by step how to engage that first conversation, how to get that person to set up the perfect sales appointment, and then go from the perfect sales appointment to the perfect presentation that walks into an agreement, that walks into a credit card payment, to walks into thank you for coming on board, all the way through. I've literally answered every part of your question. And in today's call, into this training, I've pretty much laid it out for you. If you can have this type of conversation, the idea is the conversation leads to the next logical step. The conversation gets to the next logical step, and the next logical step is, well, we've got the idea, we've got the reason as to why this is important, we've got the what's going to be fixed to actually make this work. So I guess the only thing we want to do is, if we can put this together and make this actually happen, is it okay if we show you how you can work with me to actually get that outcome? Yeah. And so the next logical step is go, yeah, right? It's like, well, yeah, obviously, of course, if we can do that, that's a must. Absolutely. So you're literally walking yourself into a buying situation with a prospective customer. It is one of the easiest ways. I cannot tell you how many times I've used this strategy to close deals, where I've just literally gone, look, let's get to the nitty gritty here. Let's get to the objective. Now, we've got some work to do here, but if I can minimize the impact of this, get a better result here, bridge the gap from where you are now to where you want to be, and make that affordable, make that a no-brainer for you, then is it okay if I show you how we work together? Mm-hmm. It's a yes, yes, yes.
It's all yes, yes.
Yeah. And it's all about, and the thing is, it's not about you and what you do. It's all about them and what they said that they want, and what is important to them, and why it's not happening, why they're not getting what is important to them. And so if I can be the bridge or the conduit to helping you to bridge that gap from where you are to where you want to be, then I'm going to be the obvious choice to get paid.
Yep. Yep.
Which is what you want.
Yes.
Thanks, Brandon, for asking the question. That's a great question. Because a lot of people end up in the friend zone because they haven't actually structured the approach. Like, I've literally just given you steps. So if you took everybody through this step, the natural end conclusion is that we are going to sit down together, work on a plan so that we can work together. That's what you want. So you're telling the person, the person's telling you that it's okay to do that for them.
Yep. Aran is saying, I'm hoping that I'm pronouncing it correctly. I just messed it up. He says, I'm stuck working with low value clients. It's difficult to find the time and energy to go after bigger clients, and I have low moral.
Okay, low morale.
Morale.
Okay, so is it Rani?
No, Aran, A-R-A-N.
Aran, okay, Aran. Or Aaron, depending on where you come from in the world. But yeah, you're stuck. The only reason why you're stuck in working with low ball clients is because you're targeting low ball clients. Let me tell you, Aran, if you were spending time investing in talking with bigger clients that have bigger budgets that were already spending money on marketing, they take just the same amount of time to close into a deal as the clients who have no money or who you struggle to work with. The bigger clients are just the same as the little clients. It's just that they've got a couple more zeros on the back end of their business, and they're human beings just like everybody else, and they need help as well. And it takes just as much time. I'm really glad you asked this question, because here's the key. Have you ever tried, Yafat, to give something away for free? Like to give it away.
Oh my God.
I want to give it to you. It's going to be so cool. They're going to get so much benefit. I'm literally going to give my soul away to you. And then they go, no, or no, or what's the catch? Or, they go into that. So it's just as hard to give something away for free that has some sense of value than it is to sell it to somebody, right? To actually physically get paid for it. And so here's the thing. What you focus on most, that becomes your reality. And the second part of that is do exactly what you do for the lowball clients, but target clients or go talk to clients. Spend time with people who already are spending money. I showed you on video 2 where to find people with the budgets, how to approach them with the cold email, how to engage them, what conversation to have, to walk them through. And they have much larger budgets. They have less questions. Their expectations are not as high because they're not hanging on every dollar that they're spending. And so my advice to you, Aaron, is it doesn't take any much longer. It takes exactly the same amount of time to talk to a bigger client or a client that has a budget than one that has a limited budget. So hopefully that answers your question, Aaron.
Yeah, and we have a bunch of people watching us right now. So if you're watching us, hop on in to consultingrocket.tv/live so you can come on in. I don't have to communicate your questions. You can actually brainstorm with John in real time right now. So wherever you're watching us from, Alan says from Facebook, thanks for all your value. What would you suggest as a strategy to be getting in front of high-end kitchen remodelers? So before you answer, Alan, come on in and we can brainstorm. You know the address.
Yeah. If you want to hop in live, Alan, we can have this conversation. So so the question is, how do I convince high ticket?
What do you suggest as a strategy to be getting in front of high-end kitchen remodelers?
Offer them high-end kitchen customers. Offer them, look, if we can sit down and talk about how we can introduce estimates on people who are investing at a high level in, who are looking for high value, looking for luxury kitchens. If we can sit down and talk about how I can introduce you to those types of buyers, just reply with your best phone number and we can get on a call. Give them what they want. They want to work with people who want to invest, who value high-end kitchens. So talk to them about introducing them to people who value high-end kitchens. And they'll say, hey, do you want that? That's the end result. Like, are you interested in people who are only, if you want to filter out all the trash, if we can sit down and filter out all the trash of the tie kickers and just get to filtering to people who actually have the money to invest at a high level, who value kitchens at a much higher rate, is it worthwhile us just getting on a quick phone call to have a quick chat? If it is, just reply with the best phone number I can contact you on. There's your campaign.
Ta-da! So we have Stuart with us, who has a goal for the next 6 months to get the business, basically everything you were teaching, John, starting with LinkedIn, building that authority, building that profile. So he has a question. Let's unmute you. Do you want to turn on your camera? And guys, as you're watching this, as you're watching me bring Stuart in, you guys can do exactly the same when you hop on in to...
Yes. You still got my camera blocked.
Do I have you blocked? There you go.
Yep.
There we go. Hop on in, consultingrocket.tv/live, and you can have a conversation exactly like Stuart here. Hey, Stuart.
Hey, how
Stuart,
you doing?
how you doing? I'm good.
Good, John. And I apologize for missing the last couple classes. However, my bandwidth must be acting up. I just wanted to let you know the things you've been teaching have really been leading me along a path. I've had some roadblocks this week, but today I rebuilt part of the LinkedIn profile because I had been posing a different business. And so I got that started, and I'm going to go out to the social networks next, let everybody that knows me. I've got 400 or 500 on Facebook. I've got about 2,000 on Twitter. I've got 271, etc. So I'm well on my way to getting the word out. Now, at this point, my goal is to take my business, which is cybersecurity, red team testing, and get that in front of the right people, which I think really will come from LinkedIn. The Sales Navigator you saw as a real key element of that, is my memory serves.
Sales Navigator allows you to actually go after prospects online. It is LinkedIn's tool, professional tool, to connect and engage with prospective customers. So if you can profile the types of people or businesses or companies that you want to deal with. And the other thing that I would also be looking at, Stuart, if you really want to get into, there is a CIO magazine. It's the Chief Information Officer magazine. You can buy it in any newsstand that's a reputable newsstand or decent newsstand will have that magazine. There's also the online version of that magazine, and there's also magazines that are dedicated towards the cybersecurity industry as well. And I would probably go to those magazines and look at some of the companies that are either advertising, or even some of the companies that have been recognized with articles or are interviewing the CEOs that they're interviewing, because these are your prospective customers that obviously have potentially significant issues. I mean, the Disney Channel just launched in Australia. I'm here in the US in El Segundo at the moment, but the Disney Channel launched in Australia. Now, in America, millions of people jumped on the Disney Channel and subscribed to the Disney Channel when it launched. In Australia, the moment it opened, more than 500,000 people's addresses, IP addresses, email addresses, and phone numbers were leaked. There were hackers who were ready to jump in as people were subscribing to Disney Channel. So that's a really big breach that's only happened just recently, like days ago, a week ago. And this sort of stuff goes on all the time. So using some of those examples, or citing some of those examples, identifying people who are in the market, who are in the industries, look at this, there are plenty of forums, even on LinkedIn, for chief information officers, where you can jump in. You can actually ask if you could join the actual groups, where you can answer questions, you can flag issues that people may or may not be aware of, and all of these things will build your authority or identity. But what it does do is it allows you to zero in, because if you join some of those groups, or if you know somebody in the market that is part of a group that can actually introduce you in, then you've actually got a direct list. You don't actually need to be communicating directly, but you can actually pinpoint or highlight those people directly. So now you have a very astute list of people in LinkedIn to go after. So Sales Navigator enables you to communicate. It also enables you to search more effectively. It also enables you to see who is actually actively in that forum, because it is a trusted. It's the world's one of the most trusted databases in the world, purely because we can actually see, visibly see who and what people are doing, what they are. We can see their experience, so you're a little bit more visible, and it's a great way to connect. But Sales Navigator is a key because it allows you to do those searches. It allows you to, I believe, make 33 inline connections every single month. So that's 33 prospects that you can reach out to directly and have communication with. And I think I think you do more than that. It's up to 33 where they respond back, is where it cuts off. but I would check that with LinkedIn Sales Navigator. But having a tool like anyleads.com allows you to extract those connections off LinkedIn, where you can go and have direct connections outside of the platform. Because every 7 to 30 days.
What was that one again, John? Anyleads?
Anyleads, ANYLEADS.com, anyleads.com. So yes, so you can engage, you can extract, letting people know what you're doing, letting people know that they should be, if you can, even if we can hop on and have a quick chat to ask a couple of questions that perhaps you need to be aware of, just so you can have a check so that you're safe. Can we get on that call? Yeah, that's what you want to do. Okay.
That's a great idea. By the way, I want to let everyone know that you give such valuable information. I was absolutely stuck trying to figure out how to put together a relatively intricate little recipe here. And one thing that you said brought me back to something I knew years ago, and that was white labeling. Guess what I've been searching out is the white labeling, cybersecurity guys that I feel like I can trust. So
yeah,
that'll
absolutely.
get me started, and then I'll go from there.
Thanks, Stuart.
Thank you,
and love the hat.
I know it is what do you call that? What do you call that? Signature.
That's my
signature.
That's my feature all the time.
Awesome. Thanks.
It's also real, guys. I really was a cowboy.
Awesome. Thanks, Stuart.
Thank you.
So our next guy is Alan, who's just asking about the remodeling. Alan, I'm going to mute you. Let's see. Do you have a camera as well? So hop on in. There we go. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Hello.
Hey, Alan. How you doing?
Not too bad, John. Thanks very much. As I said before there, I just missed you as I was jumping onto the link. I asked a question about getting in front of more high-end kitchen remodelers. I'm a chef by trade. I'm based in Australia, and I have up until now been doing quite a bit of work directly with kitchen companies and with some high-end retailers, demonstrating the appliances and getting in front of people. But I've just recently put a bit more effort into an online presence where I have some lead magnets, white label lead magnets that I've put together. And I have a team of people that write blog posts, and obviously I'm also in a position to make video content on behalf of these kitchen remodelers, because I just found, talking to quite a few of them, that's the one thing that they lack the most, is the ability to get in front of the camera a little bit and to produce their own content. And me as a chef, it's something that I find really easy to do, talking about high-end appliances or high-end kitchens. So my aim is to do it on their behalf and, charge a premium for that service. But the idea of how to get in front or the strategies that you may suggest to get in front of more of the higher-end operators that can spend the money with me for this type of service.
Okay, so I'm really glad you asked this question because a lot of people are asking questions like, how do I get in front of people who've got budgets and who value what I do, and obviously, to communicate that message in a way that they will accept. So thank you for asking the question. I really appreciate that. To answer your question, there's a couple of things that I'd be looking at, because right now in the Western world, and I think it's even happening in Eastern Europe and other places, that we've been inundated with renovation shows. Like, we've been inundated with, there's all these change your house rules type thing. I think in Australia we've got the block. We've got all these shows where there's these transformation shows, right? And people get blown away. Like, you see some of the kitchens, like, $100,000 on a kitchen, that's got a Gaggenau, $55,000 kitchen fridge, and, a $40,000, cooktop, and, a $70,000 oven that will, almost literally fillet the fish, prepare it in perfection, and almost serve it to you on a plate. So there's all these people have got these ideas of what it costs or what it takes to have a very creative, very high level functioning, high quality standard, either kitchen or bathroom. And a lot of these companies, there's a website that's a worldwide website. It's an aggregator website called Houzz.com. I think you can go houzz.com.au, Houzz.com.au. Every company that's actually, I think in the first 3 or 4 pages, is paying for a privilege for the listing, and they're paying up to $2,000 to $5,000 a month for the lead listings that they're getting from Houzz. The problem with Houzz is that the leads that you get are not your own leads. Those leads are shared, because what people do is I'll go and pick 4 or 5 kitchen companies, and then obviously you're in a situation where you're in the share zone, right? And so to sort of, I'm trying to give you context here of finding people. The other place that I would find people is I would go online and also go to the news agent and go and get the Vogue Kitchen, Vogue Living, those types of magazines, and look at the feature companies. Look at the companies that are featured, because you go to Vogue Living, it costs you $30,000, $40,000 to do one issue. Like, it's not cheap, right? And so then to have article and features, because that magazine is going to be viewed by other designers, is going to be viewed by people who are interested in high-end kitchens. So look for the luxury kitchen magazines, the Vogue Living kitchen magazines. And the third thing that I would do, so we've got Houzz, we've got people who are spending a ton of advertising and marketing on those high-end magazines. So these are identifying people who are building high value. Like, they're not interested in people who are looking to put in a $15,000 kitchen in an average home. They're looking for people who want to invest in their home, or they're building something unique and they're special, it's architectural, and they want to do something spectacular, right? So where do we go? We go where people show the spectacular jobs, right? And the other thing that I would look at would be the award winners. So if you look at the Housing Industry Association in Australia, if you're targeting Australia, if you're in the United States, it's also the Builders Association. There is a Kitchen Association in the United States, Kitchen Remodel Association. They run awards every year. They run awards. And in those awards, now get this, Alan, these people spend money to be nominated. Like, some of these people will spend $100,000 just to get nominated in the awards. Because if they win an award, they know that it'll be worth millions of dollars of sales to their kitchens, right? Because because of the prestige of the recognition. So what you want to do is you can go back for the past 2 or 3 years in Australia. If you're in Australia, in the US, you can do this, and Europe, you can do this as well. You can go back 2 or 3 years and you can pull out all the winners, right? All the nominees and all the winners. And you've got a list of people who innovate in design, create extraordinary kitchens, who are high value, all the people that you want to do business with. So you can identify really quickly the audience that you're going after, right? Now, let's get back to how we engage these bad boys and bad girls. So what we're going to do is content is key, communication, message, and branding is key. And consistently being visible with fresh and new content is a very powerful way to market your services. And good quality content costs money, right? So my approach to those people is to sit and say, I would play a little bit to their ego, right? I would play a little bit to their ego. You are in the top 100 of the quality kitchen providers and designers in the country. And I'm speaking to the top 100 because you have the level of quality that should be more visible and seen by the marketplace, by your audience, by the marketplace. The reason I'm reaching out to you is we've devised a strategy, one that brands the essence of your voice and your message, provides a connection to the audience that understands and appreciates the quality that you deliver into the marketplace, and more importantly, to be able to share and be innovative and seen, and also being able to engage within the market. If you want a little bit more about how we can help you with your branding, with your messaging, but more importantly, create content that represents the value at the high level that you have, then give me the best phone number that I can contact you on. Okay. There's your pitch, right? So literally, bang. So I've given you a list. I've shown you where you can get the list. right? Now it's like, let's give them what they want. Let's play to their ego. You're in the top 100. I'm talking to ABC Kitchens and Impala Kitchens and, Tom Ford Luxury Kitchens, and let them know who you're talking to. But one of the things is you want to be visible, you want to be branded, you want to have content that reflects the quality and the message and the level of standard within the industry. And if you want a way in which you can effectively deliver that message to larger audiences, then my name is Alan. I specialize in creating and crafting unique content that demonstrates, that visually shares the quality, but more importantly, does it in a way where your audience will absorb or interact with. If you want to know more, give us the best number that I can contact you on.
Perfect.
You got it? And now,
yeah,
you've got it, now you've got engagement if you just do that.
Absolutely. And John, would that be through cold outreach via email once you get their details?
I would do cold outreach. I would do even direct mail. I would even direct mail. So yeah. So here's a classic. Here's something that you can do, Aaron. This is a sneaky tactic. Okay. So do you want me to give you a sneaky tactic? This is sneaky. All right. So if you go on Alibaba, they have these things called Alibaba.com, the manufacturing website in Southeast Asia. On Alibaba.com, you can get your hands on these things called printed video cards, and allows you to put a little video inside. Like you can have a card print. You can do these really cheap, by the way. I've seen them as cheap as like $1.50. They're really cheap. So you can, let's say you've got 100 kitchen designers, you're going to go and spend about $150, right? It's not a lot of money, right? But what you can do on this video card is, first of all, you can put a beautifully designed kitchen on the front of the card, like a beautiful design, emulating luxury and design, right? And on that card and saying, people need to see the beauty you create. Like that would be a headline. People need to see the beauty that you create. And then on the inside, when they open the card automatically opens up. You only need to do this video once, right? And you want to take images, like you want to buy the photos, but you want to buy the best quality photos, but you want to go online and go, top, award-winning kitchens around the world, right? And what you want to do is you want to just do a simple overlay. This might take a little bit of time, but if you want to think about the impact of what a client is worth to you, right? So all you do is just do the unfolding overlay of kitchens, right? And like awesome kitchen, awesome kitchen, awesome kitchen. It's like, wouldn't it be great if you could literally deliver this representation to your customers to show the dedication that you have to the standard of high quality, high design, and high deliverability. My name's Alan. I specialize in communicating, crafting content, just like you're handling right now, that you can deliver to your clients, that sets you apart, that creates the essence and the value that you want to deliver, and shows people the commitment that you have. If you want to know more about this, my number is right here, or go to abcyourwebsite.com and grab a quick moment with me. You are only one of 30 people that I've wanted to work with, because you are creative, you've got a great sense of design, you're putting out incredible, extraordinary kitchens, and I'd love to be able to show you how we can craft amazing content, not dissimilar to what you're holding in your hands right now. Thanks for watching the video. I look forward to seeing that connection. Now, for a couple of $100, you can create, see how sneaky that is? Right, that's like super sneaky, dude. But with a little bit of care, and that's the other thing. And for those of you who are listening to this, thinking that this is an elaborate way about going about this, think about what a customer's worth to you, Alan. Like think about what a high-end customer who's going to value content, because these people are already spending freaking $20,000, $30,000 printing brochures, and they've got to print those brochures every 3 months, every time they design a new kitchen, right? Before and after shots and all that sort of stuff. Some of them have magazine style productions. They're spending a lot of money on those sorts of things. Yeah. So understand that this is a great way to stand out from the crowd, wow people, because you're demonstrating the capability of what you do. And for, even if it cost you $500 to put this deal together for like 50 of these suckers, it would be worth, one client will probably give you 100 times what you're investing in this idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I hope that one works for you, Alan.
Mate, I really appreciate that. Thanks so much. Serious value there. Thank you.
You're welcome, mate. Take care.
So I have to ask you, Alan, what was that worth to you? Like just, moving from Facebook to the website, jumping on and actually talking with John face to face. What was it like?
Well, yeah, just as I said, that's serious value there. I'd struggle to put, but I've struggled to put a figure on it. But I can only imagine that if going to find those people, like looking at House, looking at magazines and finding those winners of those awards and that type of advice, I didn't think of. I really did think about putting something in direct mail to them, but I think that's just an extra bit to the strategy that'll just hammer it home. So I think my goal for 2020 was 10 high-end clients through 2020, value of maybe $30,000-$40,000 to me. I mean, I think this type of strategy could just be the bit that sort of gets these 10 clients in the first quarter if I really hammer it. So yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. So guys, you watching this right now, I know a lot of people want this one-on-one, exactly what you just saw with Alan. You want that time with John. So John, we have something super special for them today that they can get that. You want to walk them through?
Can we answer one more question? I think Steve's
yes.
just sitting there.
I know Steve is sitting there, but
I know Steve is looking. I can see his face. He's looking at me intently, and I'm sure there's a question.
There is a question.
If I can answer that question for you quickly, Steve, and then we're going to get to what your father's alluding to.
Okay, so Steve, you're on.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah, I need some audio.
I got you.
You got me? Can you hear me?
I got you.
Hey.
Yeah, loud and clear.
Hey.
Yeah, we're probably we're looking like neighbors here. I mean, we almost look like twins.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I like your thinking though. Maybe I'll get a family discount here, huh? Hey,
so how can I help you?
Well, I'm behind on the videos, to be honest with you. I just got an email from a friend a couple days ago. I've been working hard to absorb them. I've been through the first 4, a couple of them twice. I've been doing a lot of this stuff for many years on the phone, but mostly low ticket stuff. So it's like, playing the numbers game, doing the email thing, blah, 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 $1,000 order, $2,000 order, $2,500 maybe. But most of it, just nothing where there's a whole lot of thought process into it. It's something that they need. They know they need. Boom. I'm a nice guy. I got a system. Let's do it. I need to update, upgrade the type of person that I'm speaking to. That's obvious, or I'm never going to get to where I need to be. And all the way back to video 1, you said one of the things that was necessary was to create a customer avatar. And I'm struggling with that. If you could go over that a little bit, how to do that, especially in a niche where I don't want to do the niches I've been working in.
Okay.
I want to start.
If you want to start from scratch, and if you were just thinking out aloud here, and let's play like in the next 60 seconds for you, Steve, we're going to pick a niche to go after, and then you can follow the exact same process over the 5 videos and apply that to that new niche. So if you can play along with me and be open to the idea that we're going to find a niche that has money, that is investing in marketing, that we can go and easily find a list. If you were to think of a business that you like the idea of, what types of businesses come to mind?
First thing that comes to mind is my wife has had a lot of back problems. A chiropractor.
Okay.
Just something like that.
That's one. Next market. So another type of business that comes to mind, thinking about businesses that perhaps things that you're interested in, like even if you've had a hobby or a sport or something you like, that you participate in. Think of something like that. Businesses that support those sorts of things.
Honestly, the thing I'm really interested in is marketing. That's what makes me happy. But my comfort zone seems to be more with blue collar companies.
Okay. So contractor market, they're desperate for business, and they're struggling, right? Because there's lots of competition coming in and out of the market all the time. But if I was going to deal with a contractor market, I'd be dealing with a contractor market that has volume, that has a higher end of volume, that is a little bit more visible than most contractors. So if we were to pick, let's say if we were looking at, are we talking housing contractors? Are we talking remodelers? Are we talking decking guys? Shop fitters?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, I've been dealing with roofers, but I prefer to get out of it because in most parts of the country it's so seasonal.
Yeah, absolutely. So if we were to look at a service that is necessary and popular, glaziers, glass people, right? People who have to do glass installations, especially people who do commercial windows.
Yeah.
Right? Because commercial windows, we're talking $30,000, $100,000, $1 million, right?
Okay.
So, and they're very easy to find, very identifiable, right? And you can get a list really quick, right? You know, what they want is more contracts. They want more RFPs, they want to be visible, they want to be found, and they want to have access to more RFPs in the market, because that's how they win their deals. And some of the other things is they want to be able to convert those RFPs into real jobs, real projects, right? So that's one niche. Now, we go back to the chiropractor niche. The chiropractors, they want patients. They want plan of care. They want to sell a plan of care of $1,500 to $2,000 per patient. They know that 30 to 40% of their business comes from referrals. But you know what they want to do is they want to sit with somebody who's got pain, who wants to eliminate pain, and they want to be the first choice in their community for the elimination or the management, not the management of pain, the elimination of pain, getting back to normal, without opioids, without meds, you know, getting back to health, getting back to normal, so that you feel great, right? Okay. So they're two different niches. One's a health niche. One is a contractor niche. If I was to flip a coin here, right, an imaginary coin, or if you've got a coin, you can grab a coin right now. If you've got one in your pocket, we can flip a coin, right? Okay. And we can pick glaziers or chiropractors. We ready to flip a coin? You got one? This is the fastest way to pick a niche.
I got the goods, man. The poker fun.
Grab a coin. We're going to do this in a second. So what I want you to do, and I need you to follow my instructions carefully, okay? Follow my instructions carefully. So A will be heads will be chiropractor, and tails will be glaziers, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to flip the coin and catch the coin here. We're not going to look at it. We're going to catch it, right? So heads, chiropractors, tails, glaziers, and catch it. You got it? So flip it and catch it. Flip.
Oh.
Go up.
I'm going to try this again.
Catch it. Don't look. Don't look, right? Now, as you were flipping the coin, what did your head say you wanted it to be?
Chiropractors.
What were you thinking? You want chiropractors. There's your niche. There's your niche. Okay? That's how you pick a niche. That's how you pick a niche.
Awesome.
Right?
That was too easy. Wow.
So now, and I know a few people think that's the craziest way to pick a niche, but that is how you pick a niche. Yeah. So now we need to get a list, right? And there's plenty of places you can find a list. There is a large association. They are visible online. You want to be doing searches in local markets where they are spending money on advertising, things like Facebook or AdWords. These are all the criteria. If they're spending money on marketing, they understand that marketing is really important. So they are an ideal person to go after, right? Okay. The next question, just to round this off, we're going to go after the chiropractor niche. They need patients. They need people who buy plan of care. They need those people to spend between $1,500 to $2,000 or more on a plan of care to get them back to normal health. And so here is the pitch to a chiropractor to say, hey, let's make you first choice in your community to help people get back to normal, to eliminate pain, to minimize opioid abuse, and to do the very thing that you said that you want to do, and that is to help people in the community to have health and care and back to normal, pain-free. If you want to know how we can deliver predictable patients to your practice, just reply with the best phone number to contact you on. There it is. There's the pitch, okay? Let's make you first choice in healthcare in your community. There's the pitch, right?
Awesome.
So, Steve, thank you for hopping on. Thank you for watching the other videos, and keep watching the videos, dude.
Will do. Thank you so much for the help.
You're welcome, Steve.
Take care, John.
No worries.
We talked about how to get people interested in jumping on the presentation. If you remember, how would you like me to show you a way to get everything that you want so that you don't have to suffer what happens if you don't achieve that? That's the presentation, and that's tomorrow. So same place, same time, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here. We're going to walk you through the whole thing. It'll be fun to see you on the other side. So thanks, John.
Awesome. Thanks, Shafat. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.